While I'm not proud of it and have since deleted those videos, Dawko's songs are really what kickstarted my channel, and honestly I love all the songs, every single one. Even my least favorite Dawko song is still a great song to me. After the recent release of Out of Stock and the music video for It's Spreading, I thought now was a good time to rank all of Dawko's songs. Normally I would just do a tier list, but I thought it might be fun to do an actual scripted one, since I haven't really done that before. So in this video, I'm going to be ranking all 12 of Dawko's songs from my least favorite to my favorite. Keep in mind that this list is just my opinion, and yours may differ obviously. My number 12 might be your number 1. My number 1 might be your least favorite. It's all completely subjective, and I encourage you guys to both leave comments down below on what your list would be, and I also encourage you to leave me alone because opinions differ. We will almost definitely not agree on every single placement, or in some cases, we might not agree on any placements. But this is all just for fun, and I hope you guys enjoy. So without further ado, listen to like 20 seconds of one of these songs, and think for the next while that it will be my favorite, and then find out whether it actually is or not. Number 12 on the list is actually Dawko's first FNaF song, Like It or Not. Like It or Not was a song about FNaF 6, and it featured both Dawko and also CG5. The dynamic between the two was certainly well done, and I feel that they worked well together. The vocals were great, especially for this being Dawko's first song, but I found the instrumental and the beat to just be a bit lacking. The instrumental, to me, kind of felt like if you go into a basement while a rock band practices down there, and you steal all their instruments, smack drums whenever and wherever you feel like it, and just slam whenever you wanted to. It just feels a bit random, but hey, that's just me. One other thing I wasn't a huge fan of was the animation. While future songs certainly focused on the animation and did it very well, Like It or Not's animation was just a bit strange. The models aren't all that great, and the mouth movement was just very odd. Now, it's not like I could do any better at this, but despite some of the future songs having a bit weird animation when it comes to the mouth movement, in Like It or Not it's particularly weird. The model for Dawko's character, probably meant to be Michael, not only doesn't look like Michael, but it also doesn't fit Dawko's voice very well, and it just felt unnatural. I will say I think CG5's voice does really fit for Helpy, and like I said, I like the dynamic between him and Dawko. I think it was good, but I don't think that's enough to save it from being number 12. As I said, I do still like the song, but just a little less than all the rest. Now, on to number 11. Probably the least popular of all of Dawko's songs is To Be Beautiful, and while it's not my least favorite, I could certainly see why people dislike it. The vocals for the song are absolutely amazing, but it's just strange because this is a Dawko FNaF song, but Dawko himself isn't actually in it. I think the song does have a really good instrumental though. The beat you hear after the main chorus is just really cool, and I also love the gore. One thing I don't love though is the main part of the animation. It's kind of just flashing images, and the models aren't that great either. I think the song is good in some aspects, but not so good in others. The lyrics are pretty cool. I think the song actually really well matches the tone of To Be Beautiful, the story. I just feel like To Be Beautiful doesn't work that well as a song, which is probably the reason Dawko has confirmed he isn't doing a song for 1:35 AM and stories like that, just because they won't work that well as songs. I feel like To Be Beautiful kind of falls victim to that. It's a decent song, but it's not quite as good as all the songs above it. Sometimes I listen to it casually, but that's usually just when I'm like cycling through listening to all of Dawko songs at like 11 PM because I'm bored. So yeah, the song is not bad, but the rest are better. Now the next two on the list, number 10 and 9, are a bit hard to talk about because they are just covers, and I'm talking about Dawko's Security Breach, Oogie Boogie song cover, and the FNaF 1 song Big Band cover. So I'll just talk about these briefly. I think the vocals in both these songs, especially the Big Band cover, are really good. I'd even go as far as to say that Dawko's vocals in the Big Band cover are peak, some of the best of all of his songs, only beaten out by a couple other songs.
5 Nights at Freddy's. Is this where you wanna be? I just don't get it. Why do you wanna stay?
And both of these songs are great. The problem is just that they are song covers. The Oogie Boogie cover is pretty good, but like it's cool because it's unique, but it's also not as good of a song as the Big Band cover. It's just that both are covers, so I can't really put them any higher than they are. Now let's move on. I have to be honest, I was surprised with myself to see that I placed Count the Ways only on number 8, but after thinking about it, I see why. The song is great, the vocals are awesome, but the song kinda suffers from the same thing that To Be Beautiful does. Despite the lyrics and the vocals being absolutely amazing, they aren't sung by Dawko, yet this is Dawko and DeHusa's song. It's nice when it's a mix of both of the creators of the song being the ones to sing it, like in Into the Pit, Fetch, Make Your Move, Like It or Not, but in Count the Ways and To Be Beautiful, it just feels a bit weird because neither of them are a part of it. However, I do really like the dynamic between Funtime Freddy and Millie, because despite Millie not talking at all, Freddy basically takes us into a slideshow presentation about why her life sucks, and then tells her she's gotta die some way. It's kinda funny at times, but also really dark, and I think it does that in a really cool way. The lyrics are awesome, the animation is peak, the vocals are good despite the absence of Dawko and DeHusa. I really like the animations, like the 2D screens, those are really cool and is really unique. But the main problem with the song is kinda hard to explain. You know how when you listen to a song over and over again because you really like it, but then you listen to it too much and eventually get sick of it? Count the Ways, while good at first, is really easy to get sick of for me. Not because it's bad, it's a great song, but when it first came out, I listened to it so much that I got sick of it, like usual, but I got sick of it a lot faster than the rest of the songs. Hopefully you guys get what I'm trying to say. Now on to number 7, we have Lonely Freddy. Whenever a new Dawko song comes out, it always, at least temporarily, becomes my favorite, except To Be Beautiful, and Lonely Freddy is no exception. But while it was my favorite when it first came out, I don't like it as much anymore. Don't get me wrong, it's still a great song, I just think that the only reason it was my favorite before was because it was new and I was biased because of that. I don't have too many problems with it though, the vocals are cool, I love the instrumental, how it starts out calm like most of the story, and then picks up when Alec comes across Lonely Freddy. The song really well fits the actual story. I think the problem, though, is that the song is really short. It's under 3 minutes long, and I feel like they could have made it longer without it having it drag. The beginning of the song starts off really abruptly and kind of unnaturally, and the end of the song has a really huge build-up, but then just instantly stops. I really feel like they could have just made it build up more and lead to an awesome beat drop, but it's just a little abrupt how it just slows down like that instantly. And I feel like it could have been a bit longer with the help of that beat drop. But besides that, I think everything is cool. I really love the animation of the song, especially the part when Lonely Freddy switches places with Alec. The animation in that part was just really awesome. Now moving on to number 6. Now we're getting into the songs that, in my opinion, have little to no flaws, so I'll probably be spending a lot less time talking about my opinions on those. Number 6 is probably the most popular of Dawko songs, not in terms of views, but it's the song most people would probably say is their favorite, and that is Darkest Desire. Darkest Desire is great through and through. The animation is phenomenal, besides the mouth movement being a bit wonky sometimes, though, like I said, so are most of the songs. The vocals are some of the best in any Dawko song, probably only being beaten out by a couple of the songs we'll get to in a bit, and the instrumental is great. The lyrics are well written, and it's just a great song. All that's really wrong with it is that it's just not as good as some of the other songs, which is why it's only number 6. When it first came out, I probably would have had it as number 1 or 2, but other songs, and in my opinion better ones, have since been released, and one other one has grown on me, so I'm placing it here. Number 5 was my favorite Dawko song for the longest time, but since then even better songs have come out. And I'm talking about Into the Pit. Almost everything about Into the Pit is great. The vocals are pretty good, though not as good as in some of the other songs, and the animation is cool. But what puts it this high on the list for me are the lyrics and the instrumental. The lyrics are written in such a clever way that I could never have thought of, and honestly they're just good. I don't know what else to say. But the instrumental, oh my god. It's great already from the start. I like how it's pretty slow at first and quieter, but as the song progresses up to and including the chorus, it makes me want to start jamming. I love the instrumental of this song so much. I love the build up and I love the awesome beat drop at the chorus. I also really like the idea of both the protagonist and the antagonist participating in the song. I really love DeHusa's vocals for Spring Bonnie, and I think it works so well to have the end of the song switch control back over to him. I love how the end showcases the fight scene in the story and how there's the bite to the arm thing and Spring Bonnie getting hanged. I will say though that the song is just a little bit short and strangely quiet. The song's instrumental is really awesome, but it takes away some of the cool factor when it's just a little too quiet. I also wish that the second chorus was still sung by Dawko and then it were to switch over to Spring Bonnie, as the song could be a little bit longer that way, and I don't think it would drag on either. But that's all for Into the Pit. Now on to number 4, we have Dawko's second FNaF song, which was the Ultimate Custom Night song, Make Your Move. The thing I love about Make Your Move is that it remains accurate to both the story of the game itself and the story of Dawko playing the game. The lines of
What if you lose? What if I win? What if you don't make it?
are so clever because they are meant to represent the rivalry between Dawko and Scott surrounding the release of Ultimate Custom Night. Dawko and Scott had a bet that if Dawko was able to beat 50-20 mode, that he could interview Scott, and we all know how that turned out. It's just really cool to see the dynamic between the two in the song and how their rivalry mirrors the actual rivalry within the story of the game. The animation for Make Your Move is pretty good, though not one of the best, but Dawko and CG5 work really well here, and I think the lyrics are so cool because of the double meaning behind them. It shows Dawko as William Afton and Scott as the vengeful spirit, watching his every move and trying to ensure that he loses, but he doesn't, and I just think it's done so well. That's probably my favorite thing about the song, but I'd say the instrumental is also really cool. I don't know if Make Your Move being this high on the list would be controversial, but you can bet your ass my number 1 will be. But until then, let's move on to number 3. My top 3 on this list are pretty much interchangeable. In fact, my number 3 was originally going to be my number 1, but after some thinking, I decided that I liked the last 2 songs just a little bit more. Number 3 on the list is going to be Fetch. Fetch to me is just incredible. The animation is epic, the instrumental is godly, the vocals are absolutely amazing, and the lyrics are awesome. One small problem I have with the song is that Fetch portions can get a bit repetitive and aren't always that enjoyable, but once the mic is handed over to Dawko, he utterly kills it with his vocals.
Wide and open, ready for the task. Raw emotion, ready to be cast. Look into these eyes until you're lost. And chase your wishes, no matter the cost.
The chorus of the song is absolutely my favorite part because, well, mostly because of the vocals, but also because while the lyrics do match the story, they do so in a really unique and unthinkable way. Like, I wouldn't expect looking into Fetch's eyes to be mentioned in the song, and I honestly expected it when we first got the preview of that part of the song to be for Lonely Freddy or Darkest Desire 2, but nope, it was for Fetch. I didn't know it then, but it wasn't, and it's not like it doesn't make sense, it's just not something I would have expected, and that's kind of cool. A lot of people criticize the fact that at the end of the song is just the chorus repeating itself 3 times, but I actually really like that. I usually like when a chorus plays multiple times at the end of the song, honestly, because it's like a good wrap-up, but I particularly like it here because each repeat escalates and builds up to the final one with godly instrumentals and even better vocals, and then it slows down, but not in an unnatural way like in Lonely Freddy. It's just like it does so in an actual cool way. This song is one of my favorites, and I think it does a great job at matching the story that it's based on. Now for number 2, this is probably a surprise, but not because it's a bad song, but because of the number 1 spot, which you can probably guess considering the silver medal goes to Out of Stock. Yeah, you can see why this is surprising now, right? I bet you're probably surprised about the fact that Out of Stock is my intro, yet it's not my number 1 favorite song, and you're probably even more surprised because I've talked about every song now except one, and that one will obviously be number 1, and I'm betting you're surprised about what that number 1 spot will be, considering it's not really one of the most popular songs. But anyway, Out of Stock is Dawko's newest song, and it's simply amazing. Honestly, I don't really know what to say about it, it's just a great song. While some of the other songs suffer from being too short, Out of Stock's really good, and is also really long, so you have a lot of time to enjoy it. I think the animation is one of the best, although it's kind of weird that Oscar's friends aren't there, but I mean, maybe they just couldn't model them, or like it would take too long. But yeah, and the vocals are really cool as well, only being beaten out by the number 1 spot. Out of Stock is simply amazing just because of everything about it. There's a good amount of build-up, the instrumental and vocals are amazing, the lyrics and animation are top tier, but there's just one more. You probably figured out by now that the number 1 spot belongs to Darkest Desire 2, also known as It's Spreading. I gotta be honest, I didn't expect this song to be my number 1, and probably neither did you, but I think the song is probably the one that I listen to the most, and it's one of those few songs that no matter how many times I listen to it, I never get sick of it, and I think that's the main reason I love it so much. It's basically the opposite of Count the Ways. The lyric video was awesome, and already would have landed the song in at least the top 3. but with the new full music video, it has to be number 1 for me. I love the animation, and I love the idea of the song. Although it's not entirely accurate to FNaF VR itself, it's a really cool concept that the glitch trap virus spreads all over the world. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the vocals in this song are absolutely the best of all of Dawko's songs in my opinion. I love the vocals, I love the animation, I love the lyrics, and I love the instrumental. I just really love how unique it is, and all of this is why It's Spreading is my favorite Dawko FNaF song. But that's my list. Keep in mind that this is just my list though, and I encourage you all to go down into the comments and give me your lists. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!
Dawko, what is this? What's up on my screen? It's so fascinating. But what's happening to me? I'm your friend, I don't lie. Now give in to me in a blink of an eye. Now that I've got your soul, we can work together to take over the world. Hey, hey, we will choose. Hey, hey, whatever you do, we will live these souls to give. Hey, to you, absent-minded. I like it like that. We're delighted. I like it like that. Yeah, we're excited. Yes, just like that. Now we're united with the world in our hands. Now let's get talking, please. You got just the thing I need. With friends all over from YouTube and bigger. We'll take their minds and designate us the winner. Call me Masterman. Behind the master plan, I'ma do what I want.